And we're back here at 7:35 a.m. with Dave and Matt on KFYO. And as I said, it's 7:35 a.m., and that can only mean one thing on a Thursday. It's time for the Car Pro. Good morning, Jerry Reynolds.
Good morning, guys.
Hey,
how are y'all?
You driving a Rolls Royce this week, man. I wanted to know, have you turned that car in yet?
No, I've still got it.
Okay. Well, I wanted to meet you there and see if you'd let me drive it. I'd love to drive around Dallas in a Rolls Royce.
It's nerve-wracking, I got to tell you.
Hey, let me. Now, I was gonna say something about you driving a station wagon again because, you keep driving these station wagons, but then you look at the price tag and these aren't your normal station wagons.
No, they're definitely not. And this thing is really polarizing to drive. I mean, people just stare at it, and part of it is, they recognize immediately that it's a Rolls Royce, but nobody. In fact, I haven't seen another one on the roads here in Dallas at all. And they're fairly new out, and of course they're expensive. We're talking about the Cullinan, which is the first SUV that Rolls Royce has ever made. And I've reviewed a couple of other Rolls Royces. There is a lot of similarity with this versus some of the sedans that I've been in. I mean, all Rolls Royces are handmade. All the engines are handmade. And there's no two alike. I mean, you can order these things so many different ways. And, I mean, if you want something unique, they don't say no. They just make it happen. It's the darndest thing I've ever seen.
Well, Jerry,
weird colors and things. This one is red. It's very pretty. It's got a tan and black interior in it. List price comes in just a hair over $406,000.
Whoa, geez. Okay, Jerry, I want to know something. I mean, isn't it like a total contradiction? Rolls Royce station wagon?
Yeah.
No, seriously.
It kind of is.
Well, he just said it's an SUV.
They classify it as an SUV. If you can
like
make a
station
case
wagon
for it, it's on a truck chassis. It's got a lot of towing capacity, 563 horses. Fuel economy in town is rated at 12. I haven't quite got there yet.
I was going to say, if you drive a V12 6.75 liter Rolls Royce, you've got enough money, you don't care about gas mileage.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. It's it's such a solid piece of machinery. I think that's why I admire this thing so much. And there's not a handful. I don't know anybody personally that could buy one of these and afford it. I was figuring yesterday, just for fun, what the tax title and license would be on this thing, and it was over $26,000, which is getting close to the average price of new cars in America today, and that's just the TT&L. It is a work of art. Make no mistake about it. From the Rolls-Royce emblem on the hood that you can raise and lower, it goes down when you shut the car off and raises up when you start it.
Well, they don't want to get stolen.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Oh,
and
my gosh.
It lights up at night. That's the lit part is optional, and that's about a $15,000 ad to make that thing light up. But it is pretty. It's been fun. Not practical by any stretch of the imagination, but
this is for someone who's very rich that wants to make a statement.
I think that's it. I really do. I think that's it. There's not typical annual sales for Rolls in the United States is around 1,000 vehicles, and they think that number will go up with now that they're offering an SUV for people. But we'll see. It's been fun. I'll be ready for it to go back because it's just people staring at it and touching it, and then you're driving down the freeway and people start looking at it, and then they kind of start coming over towards you. It's a little bit frightening. We had some really bad weather yesterday in Dallas, and I was afraid it was going to get hailed on.
Oh, ouch!
So I got it under cover when things got rough. But it's cool, guys. It's fun. I'll have the review and the shot video with it yesterday, even though it was raining. we'll have that all up on Monday at carprousa.com.
So let me ask you this. So, they hand make every one of these vehicles. They custom make it to the person who ordered it, all that stuff. How exactly did they get you one just to try out?
This is the only vehicle, the only Rolls they have in the press fleet.
So they just move it around?
Yeah, they do. They move it to different parts of the country. No telling where it'll go after this. This car's been around. I mean, it's got 6,000 miles on it, which sounds like a lot for a $400,000 vehicle.
Oh, Jerry, is there a Rolls Royce dealership in Dallas?
Yeah, there is.
Okay, is that all they have?
Yeah,
and because it takes specially trained mechanics to work on these, doesn't it?
It does. The dealership here, they've got like 3 showrooms lined up side by side in a big service department with dedicated Rolls Royce technicians. They sell Bentley also, and they sell Maserati, and they sell Porsche.
Okay.
So, but it's like they don't stock any of these things because you don't know what somebody's going to want. I mean, if you go to
if you're paying that much, you expect them to make it to your specifications, and if they stocked one, then
the process
yeah.
of ordering one of these takes hours. And I mean, if I wanted the Car Pro logo on the back of the seats, that's not a problem.
Then make it happen, huh?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Hey, they've got something. I mean, they've got something that is very unique, Rolls-Royce. I mean, they will do whatever it takes.
Yes. Oh, yeah. They will absolutely do it. The interesting story. There's one guy at the factory in the United Kingdom, and his whole job is to paint by hand without stencils the pinstripes that go on to a Rolls Royce. And he's had this job for 15 years. He does it completely freehand. You think that would be a little bit of pressure?
Yeah. Yeah, because they get a match on both sides.
Yeah. And it's got to be straight.
Wow.
I wouldn't want his job.
So what's going on around the U.S. right now?
We've got a lot of stories going up at the website today. I think the biggest one that I've been following for a couple of days is Fiat Chrysler's desire to merge with Renault. And Renault is the parent company of Nissan. So they put a proposal out there to the board of Renault to do a 50-50 merger. And it's starting to look like it could actually happen. That would make that new company, it would make them the third largest automaker in the world behind Toyota and General Motors. I'm sorry, that would push General Motors to 4th place. So this would make Fiat, Chrysler, Renault, or whatever they decide to call it, make them the number 2 automaker behind Toyota and shove General Motors down a spot. It'd be interesting to see what happens if these 2 car companies get together.
No.
It would be a huge company, and it obviously changed the dynamic of everything that we see in the United States.
Now, Jerry, when you look at Chrysler's just jumped back and forth a lot, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has. And typically, guys, in history, these big mergers have seldom worked out. The Fiat Chrysler merger, when they merged together, actually turned out to be a good match. But if you look at when Chrysler merged with Mercedes back, 20 years ago or so, that was a disaster. And it was a disaster for both companies. And historically, these things haven't worked out real well. But for whatever reason, they think this is a good fit, and we'll see how it turns out. These things are supposed to be equal mergers, but the truth is, in my experience, one of the companies emerges stronger and one of them emerges weaker in a case like this.
And that's where the problems lie.
Should be interesting to watch, but I think it looks like the Renault board of directors is seriously considering this proposal.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Jerry, we do want to remind everyone that you are live every Saturday right here on KFYO from 11 to 1. And for more information, you can go to carprousa.com.
That's correct. Guys, I appreciate you.
All right. Thanks, Jerry. You have a good day.